Hey, I'm Ton Vin, and this is Seattle Eats, a food podcast from the Seattle Times and KUOW. Seattle has spent $800 million to connect downtown to Elliott Bay. If you want to have a walk around the new waterfront, you'll probably want to have a bite as well. But in this sea of expensive tourist traps, you might need a little help to find the best places to go. Today, I'm joined by David Gutman, a political reporter at the Seattle Times and a former cook who used to make my favorite steak frites. David wrote about the city's front porch, the waterfront. He joins me to explain how to navigate Seattle's newest landmark, and I'll share my favorite spots to eat. Hope you're hungry. Let's go! Hey, Seattle Eaters! David Gutman is in the house. He's a political reporter at Seattle Times, a great storyteller who chronicles the city. Our very own Jimmy Breslin. In his previous life, he was a cook in an acclaimed French restaurant. David, I begrudge your success. But nevertheless, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I mean, I don't have my own podcast, so who's begrudging?
I should back up here, because you got some serious culinary chops. You used to work at, I would say, one of the most consequential Seattle restaurants, Le Gourmand. And I used to hang out there all the time because attached to this great restaurant was a cocktail bar. And I drank there so much, I knew the secret handshake, which is if you get hungry at night, it's not on the menu, but you can order the steak and fries. The bartender, Jay, is a gatekeeper. If he likes you, he lets you order this dish. And I ordered all the time, David. And I never knew until years later, when you became a reporter at Seattle Times, that you were the guy who made my steak frites all those nights.
Sometimes I miss working in restaurants, but sometimes I don't.
Well, David, you write a lot about politics with great detail and color, and your latest piece is about the new waterfront. In a segment I like to call, Explain It so that even a dummy like Ton could understand. Don't use a lot of three-syllable words. Give me the lowdown on the waterfront. How did we get here? The viaduct was here, next day it's not.
Okay, the viaduct was here, next day it's not, kind of compresses 20 years into one day. But here's the quick cliff notes. Nothing but short words. In 2001, there was an earthquake, and the viaduct, which was this double-decker highway, it was exhausty and grimy and gritty and carried 90,000 cars a day, almost fell down, but it didn't. So then we spent the next decade debating what to do about it in case there was another earthquake. And we decided to build a tunnel under the city and tear down the viaduct and build a park, kind of where the viaduct used to be. We picked a designer for the park in 2010, so 15 years ago. The viaduct was torn down fully in 2019. And the new waterfront park has been opening kind of piecemeal over the last year or so. And the last big piece, which is this new pier with a playground and everything, just opened.
I know for your article, you spent a long time walking for days along the waterfront, like you were Kane in Kung Fu, pondering the meaning of life.
I did do a lot of wandering. At one point, I was down there looking like a nutcase with a tape measure, measuring how wide things were.
So tell me, wise man, how do you get to know the waterfront? Where should I begin?
You know, there's no right answer, but I'd start at Pike Place, kind of amble around. Right next to Pike Place is Victor Steinbrook Park, and that will lead you to Overlook Walk, which is really the centerpiece of this new waterfront park. It's this big structure of staircases and ramps and platforms, and there's no one route to walk it. There's various paths. Take your time, kind of amble. It has, maybe the best view in Seattle. Unlike the Space Needle or the top of the Columbia Tower, it is free. You can see Elliott Bay. You can see the Olympics. You can see the stadiums and the Ferris wheel and the cranes, and then turn around and there's all these skyscrapers looming behind you. It's really a majestic view, I would say. And then walk down Overlook Walk. It'll spit you out right on the Seattle waterfront at Pier 62, which is this refurbished big open public space. It's got chairs and tables and food trucks, a dock strapped right onto it so you can get right down next to the water. And then I would start ambling south. There's this wide pedestrian promenade that's rimmed with gardens planted quite nicely. There's a bike path through there. For a few blocks, there's this little secret boardwalk going through the gardens that runs parallel to the promenade.
Oh?
Oh, indeed. There's public art all over the place. There are new sculptures. You get down towards Pioneer Square, and there's even a little gravel beach. But yeah, the park kind of runs the length from Pike Place down toward the stadiums.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so it's quite the item.
Okay, so if you spent the day exploring the waterfront, where do you go for a good bite?
That's a good question. I mean, in Pike Place, there's the famous fish market where they throw the fish. And then right in that building there are 3 fish markets. And then across the street is a 4th fish market called Jack's. They're cutting fish. They're selling fish for people to take home. But they also have a little counter where they sell chowder and fish and chips. And fish and chips with cod costs about $12. It's a deal. You know, you feel like you are sitting in the market because you are. And yeah, I recommend it.
Leave it to you to find like a hidden gem, even a Pike Place market. That's great. But I've got one better. At least I think it is anyway. It's a newcomer. And actually, you were probably too busy walking back and forth. You didn't even notice. But near Pike Place Market is a place called Mr. Fish Chips and Chowder. It's a Tom Douglas pivot. It used to be Seatown, and their specialty is fish and chips. It's beer battered. It is not cornmeal crusted. It is not tempura, which has suddenly become hip for some reason. Tempura fish fillet.
Tempura is hip.
Yeah, it has become a new thing. Fish and chip with tempura batter. But no, this is old school beer batter. And if we're talking inside Pike Place Market, I will say, I would say Pasta Casalinga, one of the best fresh pasta places in downtown that no one knows about. That's not true. Office workers do know about it, but it's still underutilized.
It's kind of hidden in there in that like atrium of one of those Pike Place buildings, right?
Exactly.
I kind of stumbled upon it on accident once when I was looking for a bathroom, and I was like, oh, look at this place.
Next time, grab a seat there. It's well worth it if you can find a seat.
Okay.
Where else do you like to eat in Pike Place? What's your go-to place to grab something and just walk around?
Let's see. My favorite kind of walking around food at Pike Place Market is Misum Pastry, which is no secret. It's right out there. They often have quite a line, but they'll sell you barbecue pork hambao, a big roast pork bun, kind of the size of a grapefruit. They're big boys, and they're delicious. They cost about $5 or $6. It can be kind of a walking around snack. It can be a light lunch.
Oh, Misum is a great spot in the market, right on the main strip. Well, can I tell you my pick?
Please do. You're the expert. Let's hear it.
I would go old school. Let's say Oriental Mart. This is a countertop Filipino lunch spot. It's located behind a grocery store in Pike Place. It's an incredible hole-in-the-wall. It's run by this lady named Lila Rosa. And this is how you order. You just order her, "Do you trust me?" plate. Seriously, this is what she calls it. If you say yes, she just makes you this plate of pork or fish with other sides like legumes or grains. It's around $20 and it's enough food to feed 2 people.
I have never been to Oriental Mart. I've always been a little bit intimidated, but now I know.
You haven't been there, but I bet you there is one place I know you have been to, Post Alley Pizza. You been there?
I have been there. I got pizza. It was excellent.
They usually have the special vegetarian slice, a special meat slice. But you just got to go old school. I would go either a cheese slice or a pepperoni slice. That's the only way to go. For those who don't know what we're talking about, Post Alley Pizza, and the name tells you where it is probably the only place in this tourist hub where more locals go to than actual tourists. And it's a place where industry people, prep cooks, will get a slice of pizza before their shift starts. I love it. I think it is one of the best slices in the city. It's the most distinctive slice. The crust has a sharp fermented tang, has a nice chew resistance like a good bagel. The cheese, I should say, play a bigger role than other pizzeria. They have a very distinctively milky and sharp medley of aged mozzarella, parm, and provolone, and it's balanced with a thick tomato base, which you usually don't get in the New York slice. And you don't even have to be a super taste. You will know that you've had a Post Alley slice.
It's good pizza. There's nowhere to sit inside, right? As I recall, but they have little counters hanging off the windows outside, so you can kind of just stand and put your pizza and soda on the counter and and
Yeah.
feel like you're standing on the corner in a big city. It's nice.
Yeah, it feels very European. There's like 2 seats inside, and you don't want to sit there because it's so crowded with the lines, especially in the summer, it's so hot. You just want to sit on the curb and eat. I guess you can stand, but I'm just lazy. I just sit on the curb. I don't care.
There you go.
Where do you grab a drink?
I like going to Lowell's, which is kind of an institution there at Pike Place. You know, they've got 2 floors of table service restaurant, but they also have kind of a secret. If you go up to the 2nd floor, you can buy a drink at the bar and then walk up to the 3rd floor where they don't have table service. Just a glorious view. Almost feels like a clubhouse up there. My grandmother would say you sit nice. And so you sit nice up there and you can just buy a $7 beer and sit there as long as you want. Don't tell them I said to sit there as long as you want, but sit there a reasonable amount of time.
David, congratulations, because you're the first person in Seattle who has ever mentioned Lowell's and not mentioned that this is where Sleepless in Seattle was filmed.
I remember the Space Needle and I remember the houseboat. I forget Lowell's. I haven't seen it in a while.
Well, there you go. I have a better choice for you. A place that no one knows about. A few blocks down is a high-end restaurant called 84 Yesler. And the reason why most people haven't heard of this place or dine here is it is one of the most expensive restaurants in the city. It's high-end seafood, fresh-made pasta, but they have a secret happy hour menu. It's not posted online, but every Wednesday through Saturday from 4 to 6, all their high-end platters, all their high-end entrees and greatest hits, they do smaller portions or sample size, and they sell during happy hour for between $9 and $22.
Ooh, daddy.
Now, 84 Yesler is in Pioneer Square. But when you look out the window, the waterfront is just across the street.
You're probably a stone's throw from the ferry dock, right?
Exactly.
Which I would add is also newly renovated, and it's a whole new Coleman dock.
Yeah. And dinner for 2 at 84 Yesler is north of $200. But if you do the happy hour with smaller portions and sample size, it can be $100. It's still pretty good. And even better, they have $10 daiquiris and cocktails. Any glass of wine is discounted for $4 off. So I would get a Chablis or a glass of champagne. And this is one of the best secret happy hour. And actually, it's one of the best happy hour, period, in the city.
This is a great tip. I love it. It's like the happy hour is actually, this is what we do, but smaller, not this is some nachos while we're over here cooking steaks.
You get it. Gotta love a good happy hour deal near the water.
Okay, I do like a good happy hour. So, Ton, we got places to eat. We've got a mile-long walk. What do you think of the whole experience? Is this just for tourists or is this for Seattleites as well?
David, I'm down. I would never go to the waterfront. To me, it's like a tourist trap. But you actually mentioned a lot of highlights, the parks and the walkway. I think I would go there. Not on a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday, but I will go on a Monday or Tuesday.
Let's go. Let's go for a walk. Let's have some snacks.
And happy hour.
Ooh, daddy.
That's it for today. We have a list of all the waterfront restaurants we talked about in the description of this episode. Thanks for listening to Seattle Eats. The show is a production of the Seattle Times and KUOW, part of the NPR network. You can support Seattle Eats by investing in the local newsroom and the specialized beats that make this sort of storytelling possible. Please consider joining and subscribing at KUOW.org/eats and SeattleTimes.com. Seattle Eats is produced by Brandy Fullwood and Claire McGrain. Edited by Jim Gates and Trevor Lensmeyer. I'm Ton Vin. See you next week. Oh, David, you know what? I need to make it up to you. I want to invite you over to my house and make steak frites for you my way. Would you do it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's take down the fire alarms.
How I do steak frites at home now is I put a little peanut oil on an iron skillet. I heat it up and I sear both sides so it gets a nice charred crust. Then I let it rest and then I slice it into ribbons or strips and it's bloody red on the inside. I put it back in the pan just to brown one side. And then I use that beef fat in the skillet and I fried 2 eggs.
Ooh.
And then I put that egg over a mound of crispy French fries. So it is a take on a Spanish dish called broken eggs because you break up the yolk and the beef fat is like the sauce that binds the whole dish together.
Ooh, and you dip the French fries in that yolk and everything? Wow.
Yeah, this is my way to apologize to you for ordering late at night, at midnight, when you're breaking down the kitchen. And I got a perfect pairing because I know you worked at a lot of great French restaurants with great wine lists. And I'm going to surprise you because have you ever paired a steak with sparkling wine or champagne?
I don't know that I have.
Oh, I have a natural wine, a sparkling natural wine, and I'm going to shock people. Yes, you can pair a sparkling natural wine with steak, and I'm going to prove it to you, David, and we're going to talk about this on air one of these days. It's like a funky, big haystack.
Barnyardy?
Yes.
I love a barnyardy wine.
Mr. Wordsmith, yes. It's really big. It will cut into this beef fat. I think it's going to work. But if all else fails, I have a backup Burgundy bottle. So we're good.
Wow, let's go.
Thanks, David.
Hey, thanks for having me.